receiving the links for the videos. I'm going to work on that this weekend, and this weekend you all will get, I will send over the links for all three, plus this is the fourth class now. So you'll get the links for all four, and moving forward it should automatically push to your email so that you all would have the link to review our class. Alright, so Smart Trader, so basically it's smarttrader.com. That's the software that I recommend using to do your analysis. It's a little different to it's to MT5, where actually that's your broker account. So I would have also sent you all the link to go ahead and open your broker account with Just Markets. So you could go ahead and open your account. To open your account again is like a 5-minute process. You submit your ID, you submit your either your bank statement or your utility bill for proof of address, and they verify the account, and that's where you would fund and trade. And when you make your profits, that's where you would withdraw from. So that's the broker side. This is where you're going to do your analysis. So when you come to charts, I have charts set up already, but let's say starting from scratch, you would be able to create a workspace. What I like about this software is, as compared to, let's say, using, because some people just use the broker to trade by themselves, right? And the thing with that is, if you, let's say, happen to use another computer, or if by chance, let's say, you travel, something like that, you don't have access to your analysis. With a program like this where it's online, it makes it easy that once you log in, all your charts are saved to the cloud so that you can log in on a different computer. If you get a new laptop, it's not that you have to do over everything. You literally just log in on the new program, and then you'd be able to go from there. Just waiting. I'm not sure why it's taking so long tonight. Okay, I guess that's why they are updated. They're doing an update on the software. All right, well, let's see what we could still get done. Do you all have, in the meantime, like while we're doing this tonight, do you all have any questions, any concerns so far based on what we did? If you all have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box, and I would go ahead and answer your questions for you. All right, so starting from scratch, you could continue to type any questions while I go over everything. All right, so starting from scratch, the first thing that you will do is on the left hand side here. So when you pull up a chart, it could be any chart that pulls up first. It could be euro, US dollar. This is just gold, but it doesn't matter. You could get any chart that you want. So the first thing you want to do is at the top left hand right here, you'd see workspace. So you want to create a workspace. I have different workspaces saved with different charts, right? Different setups for different programs. I have some for education. I have Mastermind from 2023 that I still have the charts saved. So that's where you would be able to view your workspaces. If you go to the plus here, when you go to plus, you'll be able to see manage charts, new workspace, manage workspaces. So the first thing you will do is set up a workspace. So once you click new workspace, you'd be able to put in the name of that workspace. You'd be able to enter whatever symbol you want to start looking at. So the symbol is just the currency pair. So whether it be Forex, whether it be crypto, whatever you want to do. And then you basically just click add. Once you click add, it will bring you to a screen like this where you have the charts. Now, we haven't done this as yet, but because we're doing this video, I would show you all how to change the color of the candles. And the reason why I do that is Most currency pair, most charting software have them in red and green as a way for you to identify the type of candle, right? Whether it's a bullish candle, which means the candle went up, or whether it's a bearish candle, which means the candle went down. The thing about this is, psychologically, if you're buying the market and you see a big red candle, it tends to play tricks on you psychologically, especially as a new trader, because you start second guessing yourself. So even let's say we bought here, and let's say, let me do this, let's say we bought here, and let's say we think this market is going to go to this level. Sorry, I didn't. Let's say we think the market is going to go to this level up here. The market pushed up, and then we started seeing these red candles. We started thinking, you know what? No, the market is coming back. The market is going to go. The market is going to turn around. It's going to come and fall all the way here. The market did correct, which is how the market moves. It moves in waves. But then we started pushing again. So this could very well work its way up here. Alright, but just because we would have seen these big red candles, sometimes new traders, you start to panic. So one of the tricks to avoid that happening to you is by making all the candles the same color. It does not, is the same movement, but it just does not play the same trick on you. So what you will do is right click on the chart. Just give me a minute. Oh, sorry, I have the tool on clear screen. I have it saved as structure. So something like this, meaning I have just simple black, white background. Again, this is a preference thing. It really does not matter if you want to put all blue, if you want to put all pink. That's up to you. Go to chart settings. And where you have up candle color, down candle color here, all you do is change all of these to whatever color you want to change it to. Once you set it, right, so let's say for this example we wanted to do all blue. We're just going to change these 6 boxes here to blue. And you're going to click save, and you would see that it's all blue. Now to save that, once you change it and you have the settings, you're going to come back to save template. You name your template, and then you just click save. So that will save it. Again, because of how this works, no matter where you log in, once you log in again, the settings would be there. So watching the chart like this does not give us the same, it's the same movement. As I said, it's going to cover the same distance. Nothing like that is going to change. It just doesn't play the same trick on you as a new trader. So you're not going to start to panic as easy. All right, the market falling, a big red candle in front of you. That's one of the things, right? In terms of the tools that you would use, again, at the top here, let's say we're looking at gold. Let's say we wanted to change to look at another pair. If you click at the top here, you'd be able to change, let's say, to the euro US dollar. So you change your pair at the top left hand corner here. If we go over one, you would see 1 day, which is what I have here. But if you click on it, this is where you will change your time frame. So let's say you wanted to see the 4-hour chart, you could change it to the 4-hour chart. If you want to do the 15-minute chart, you could change it to the 15-minute chart, and so on. Next to that, you would have, if you want to change it to a line chart. So for now, we're only using candles. But again, let's say you wanted to change it to colored bars. There's different types of charts. For now, we use basically candlestick patterns. So you're going to have it on candlestick. The next setup here would be the tools. Now, if you have, because I told you all for now, there's a paid option to the software and there's a free option. The free option obviously would not come with all the tools, but these are basically what you call smart tools. So again, if you don't have this, that's fine. The way I do the program, I actually don't want you to use smart tools from the beginning, because you need to understand. And then once you understand how the tools work and you could use them, then the smart tools just make it easier. All right. The next box or drop down. So when you come to here, you're clicking on the arrows for the drop down to get all the different ones. So one of the tools that we would use is trend lines, right? Because you'd be drawing, if you're trying to measure that this is an uptrend line, basically once you have it, you click and then you just pull wherever you put it, and then when you let go, that's where the tool would be. This little box that pops up here, again, it's just a preference thing, what makes it easier for you to see. So again, if you just select the color here, you could change the color, you could change the thickness, you could change whether you want it to be a dotted line. So again, that's just preference. If not, and you're comfortable with the way it is, then you're just gonna leave it. So from this drop down box here, again, you would use horizontal rays. Now again, I have this very thick because I use this to measure my zones, right? So again, you could just adjust the thickness, the horizontal rays. The next one now we might use that you could use is the rectangle. Again, if you're doing a zone, you could do a horizontal line. Let's say you're mapping out an entry, you're mapping out an exit on the chart. Same drop down. Vertical line is one that I use. Sometimes it's more to measure timestamps, but most traders don't really use the vertical line option. Triangle we don't really use. Eclipse we don't. I mean, you could use it, but I more use it for the education. I don't really use it in trading. I will use it for the education like this because I want to show you all or highlight this area here. But when you're marking up the charts, again, unless you want to highlight a particular area, you might not use it. And then the freehand, again, with the charts, maybe you want to just draw to say, all right, I think the market is going to do this, for instance. I use it in the education, again, for the visual representation, but that's where you would find those tools here. Next to that, you're going to have the box that has Fibonacci's. So out of these tools here, we didn't do it yet, but one of the topics we would cover would be Fibonacci's, and the Fibonacci just looks like this. It's a tool that's used to measure the waves in the market. So remember we just said the market moves in waves. It's a tool that's used that if the market pushes like this, when the market waves back within here, we are going to be able to measure and say, you know what, based on where the market U-turn, the market has enough strength to come back up to this corresponding level here. That's the basic explanation of this. As I said, we haven't covered it yet, but we would get into that. If we go across one more again, the next box, we're going to have the King Crown tools, and these are more patterns. So again, this is a bit more advanced. The patterns would come into play again later down. While we're practicing, we would be seeing patterns. This is a text box. So this would be good for you to use. So let's say for now you're practicing, you could come here and you could say you bought because you saw a candlestick formation. Let's say you saw a bullish engulfing. So that way when you come back to the chart, you'd be able to see, all right, I bought here because of a bullish engulfing, and yes, look, I was correct. The market did go up. And you could use the text box like that, or to just keep notes of whatever's going down. Arrow up again if you want. I would use these as visual representations. It's up to you. So again, you could go through all these here and you would see, again, like remember we were talking about candlestick patterns, right? Let's say I want the market to identify all the candlesticks, all the bullish candlestick patterns. You could come here and you again, because this is a smart software. So as I said, I want you to be able to identify them for yourselves. But once you practice and once you get better, you could then put on a tool like this. So you would say, you know what, we're in an uptrend, I'm only looking to buy certain areas. So you put on the bullish candlestick formations. So these will then highlight it for you. So that way it makes it easier on you. Again, I'm not sure with the free version if you would have access to all of these, but at that right now you don't need it, so you don't need to pay that extra fee right now. But again, you decide, all right, you know what, when we complete the course, you want to get access to the full version of the software, you could go ahead and get access to the full version, and it will show you again, you'd have all the features here. The magnet tool just makes it pinpoints the exact point. So you see like how I drew this line here freehand. If I go back again and put on the magnet tool and then select the line, it will actually just pinpoint to, you see how it's moving a bit different because it's pinning to the bottom of the wick of each candle. So that would just make it makes it exact or precise when you're drawing if it's a trend line. This next tool is the tool lock to continue drawing. So if it is, I know I have 5 lines to draw, instead of having to click each time to draw a line, magnet tool is still on. Right, instead of having to click each time to draw a line, if I have this on here, which is the continue drawing tool, I could draw my 5 lines without having to select each time. Once I'm finished, you would right click and just go to reset tool, and that's how you would exit that when that particular tool that you have on. Alright, let me clear the screen again. One of the benefits of this program as well is you could actually link your broker account. So when you open your broker account, instead of having to, because if you do your analysis here and you find a trade here and you want to execute, you can link your broker account directly to the software. So you can literally then be able to just click buy and sell directly from this platform. Right, so the boxes on the side here would be now for indicators. Let's say you want to add an indicator. So we go into the left hand side here now. The first one at the top would be indicators. Again, there will be free indicators, there will be premium indicators, there will be advanced indicators that you have because of how the software works. Again, let's say you want one of these indicators, you could actually buy it within within the program itself. Alright, so if you wanted to apply, let's say, a free indicator and we just add the stochastic RSI, you literally just add it and you'll see it comes at the bottom right here. You'd adjust your settings and stuff. We haven't done anything on this as yet, but again, you'd be able to add, and then you could just literally X off the indicator and it will be removed from the chart. Smart script, the program allows that, let's say you get so advanced in the program, you want to be able to write scripts like for indicators. You can build scripts within the program itself, so that's very technical. Again, it's a feature that you might never use, and that's fine. You could manage templates from here. Again, similarly, you could set your alerts and manage your alerts from here. So an alert, how would you use an alert? What will be the benefit of using an alert? Let's say the market is moving like this, and I think from my analysis, I want the market to come to this area here before I buy the market. Then you could set an alert on this area here. If you right click, you could see where it says add alert, and you could add an alert on this area here rather than sitting in front of the screen all the time, just watching the screen all the time. So you could go again, and that's why I say when you're now setting up your charts, that's when you spend the most time with the chart. After that, trading becomes a waiting game because you're going to be in a situation like this where you're waiting to execute a trade. It's not going to be that every time you open the chart, you have a trade right in front of you. So you're going to use the alerts. The nice thing again, as compared to another program, the nice thing about using these alerts is that yes, it will have a sound on your computer, but you could also set it up to send you an email or text message on your phone that you link to the software. So again, you could set this up. Let's say you have it set up. You know you're waiting to buy this particular pair when the market reaches $5. You set that alert and you go about your day. So you could be out. You would have your broker app on your phone to be able to actually place a trade. And it reaches $35 where you want to buy. You will get a text message. Goal reach $5. You literally log into your broker platform because you would have already done your analysis. So you know where you're looking to buy. You know where you're looking to go to. You then execute the trade on the go and continue going about your day. It could also work if you're in a trade already and you have a large target, let's say. So let's say we bought here and you're expecting this market to go up to here. But let's say, you know what, from what we did last week, this is an area of resistance. So the market can potentially bounce here and come back down rather than continuing going up. You have your limit up here. You set an alert here so that when you're in the trade again, you're going about your day. And then when the market reaches up here, you close the trade in profit because again, you're out and about. You get the alert. You close the trade in profits. So that's how you would use the alerts. When you set an alert, the alerts would it will pop up here. You'd be able to see all the alerts. You'd be able to adjust them. You'd be able to delete them here. Smart analytics as well. That's some advanced features that you might never use. One of the tools you'd use here is the measurement tool. So this tool here, which looks like it's supposed to be like two rulers, what you do is you click on an area and you go up, and then the box gives you the range. So you see here where it says pips, 44 pips. Right. This would have shown you that the move that you're measuring is 44 pips. So this would help you like determining, let's say you have a stop loss based on the chart, you would know, all right, when you measure it, you realize, all right, it's 50 pip stop. So that way you would say, all right, 50 pip stop, it means I want to trade by $1, so I'm only going to be risking $50 if I take a loss. So again, the chart will tell you where your stop needs to be. So again, let's say from the chart that we're looking at and we say, all right, this is the move here. We bought here. We're buying in this area here. And we say, you know what? My stop has to be down here. You'll then come and measure. And you say, all right, that's 27, let's say 30 pips to down here. Then that means, all right, I want to risk maybe $100 so you could trade by $3 per pip. So you risk $90 around there on this particular trade, and then you would also be able to calculate, all right, my target is up here, I'm going after 50 pips and I'm risking 20 or I'm risking 30 to go after 60. So again, that's what you use the measurement tool for on this side here. The tool here now, so let's say you come and you do your analysis, like how I would say when I give you all homework, right? And let's say you're going to identify, I tell you to find 3 areas, and you say, all right, this is 1, this is 2, and you label it, right? So you're going to add your text to it, like I showed you the text box. Just now. Right, text box here, and you're going to come and label it bullish engulfing. So let's say bullish engulfing. Let's say come here. And you're going to say this is now a shooting star. A shooting star. You're going to come and say this is another thing. You do that. This picture here allows you to take a screenshot. Let me reset tool. A screenshot of the analysis. And that's how you submit your homework. Yeah, and it automatically downloads, and then you just send me an email with it. I will be able to see what you have been looking at, what you think it is, and I'll be able to make corrections and adjust accordingly. All right, so that's the basics of the charting software. As I said, some features you would not have, but all the basic features that you do need for now, you would have access to. Again, for now, you might not be able to open 4 charts, but let's say, let me see, look at this, Mastermind. Because how you basically trade, does Mastermind have multiple? Which layout do I have multiple? Trade of the Week Club might have multiple charts. Let me see Forex 101 2024. Does this have multiple? Right. So again, from the last batch, you could see, again, that's what I said. That's why I like this software. From the last batch, 2024, funny enough, all the analysis, well, not funny enough, that's how the program works. Funny enough, this particular trade, you could see we identified a level here, and this particular trade is still working. Yes, so the site is smarttrader.com, SMARTTRADER.com. Right, you could see that we identified this level here. We were looking at the market falling, and as you could see again, because of what we did last week, we could see that the market found resistance at this level, came up, pushed down, came up, pushed down, somewhat consolidating. So it's like it's finding resistance at that level and support at this level, and the analysis saves. So because of that, I don't need to go and do over analysis every time. When I have my analysis, and this has been saved for all the pairs, so I have right here now all the major pairs that we look at. Let me see. I could change it to Bitcoin. Do we have analysis for Bitcoin? US 30, and these are just some of the pairs that we were looking at. So US 30, I didn't have, I think these were new pairs. I think I had it on regular, right, Forex Watch. Right, so it would have been Forex Watch. Aussie JPY. So again, we would have been back here. This is the weekly chart. So we would have been back here. We would have said, you know what, this is where we're at. We're waiting for bearish confirmation. We got it here, and as you could see, since then the market would have been falling. We didn't look at Aussie Swiss franc. We didn't look at Aussie New Zealand dollar, because I don't trade all the pairs. We look at specific pairs based on movement. Sometimes a client might ask a question about a particular pair, and that's kind of what we look at. Let me see. Right, so we were just looking, whatever analysis you do saves on the chart. So you don't have to come back every time and do over analysis based on what pair you're looking at. Again, one of the things, and I'll go through some of those things as well, one of the things that new traders tend to think is that they need to be one in the markets all the time or trading 24/7. That's not true. You'd realize that if you find as a beginner, maybe start with 2 pairs. Focus on those 2 pairs. Master those 2 pairs, because what you'd realize is pairs move a certain ways. Different pairs move at different times. Different pairs, some pairs move faster than others. Some pairs move slower. Some pairs move in the morning. Some pairs move in the evening. So when I say master that particular pair, after trading it for a while, you will get better at understanding, all right, when is this pair most active? What's going on in this here? All right, so you could see we had the analysis on gold here. You could see targets were hit based on what we were looking at. Let me delete this one. Right. We were looking at this market here going up to this level, and the market did exactly that. The market pushed up. These pink lines here I would have identified before the move happened, and that's what we would have been looking at. This green box here is where we started buying, and we would have said that we want this market to go up to this level. It did exactly that within the period. And again, based on where we're at right now, we might be looking for some sort of correction on gold, and then a continuation again in this uptrend. Did we look at Bitcoin here? I think because they're doing the update, we're having some issues on certain charts itself. But again, we were able to go through so that you have an understanding of how to use the software. Alright, let me just go back to, let me see something here. All pairs. Right, all pairs would have a lot of analysis that we would have done as well. Let me just see something. Perfect. So again, when we were here, you see how I would have identified that I'd be looking this market to fall down here. After that, the market did correct a little bit, but then we fell and came to the level that I would have shared with them in the session. So that's this one. Let me choose another pair and see what analysis is in front of us. When we do Fibonacci's, you all will understand a little bit more the ABCD swings. And again, some of these are what you call, so on here, these are what you call like EAs, right? And an EA is, for now, we're doing blank charts, right? In terms of you're just going to be looking at the chart and doing your analysis. A lot of people start in reverse. So they start with like all these basically fancy software, and they don't know how to analyze a blank chart. The way I teach the program is that I want you to look at a blank chart without any of this fancy software, and then be able to do your analysis. Once you can do your analysis like that, it makes it easier, and then now this becomes a plus for you. So you could say, you know, because sometimes these programs are wrong. Sometimes you need to understand, all right, even if the program is saying to sell, yes, we were falling, but I think the market is at a level now where it's going to reverse. But the program will take a while to catch on. So instead of continuing to sell, because you know how to analyze a blank chart, you would be able to say, you know what, I'm going to stay out of this last trade, and I'm going to wait for my entry to buy. And you realize when you do that, and then from here the market starts to go up, and you realize you were correct because you were able to do the blank analysis. Any questions based on the charting software? You can go ahead and type them in the chat box. And I'll just kind of go through again. Alright, not really. So it's just a matter of you all going through now and practicing what we did so far. Now that we've gone through the charting software, you all could go ahead and send the homework. Right, yeah, right. And if you all have any issues, again, it will become easier once you actually start to go through. So again, set up the account and you could practice. And once you start to go through, it will become easier. Donovan, any questions? If none, just put an N so I'll know you're not typing. Alright, so I think that's it for tonight's session. You all go through now, play up with the charts, and that's what I call it, play up. You literally sit down, you can't do anything, or if you make a mistake, two things. Let me just point that out to you. Let me come off of this. Let me go to education. Right. So let's say you do something. Let's say you make a mistake. Let's say you wanted to do this and it ended up doing this instead. There's the undo button. So again, in the order that you did something, it will undo it. You can't click it more than once. So if I click it once, it will undo the second thing I did. If I click it again, it would undo the first. Or let's say you just want to, you did something and you want to practice again. You can literally, if you drew, let's say you did this, right? You draw, and then you want to undo it. If you right click, you could clear the screen, which will take off everything. All your analysis, it will reset the chart to blank, and you could just start over again. Alright, so don't be afraid if you make a mistake, just clear the screen or undo depending on what it is, and then you could go again. So play up with the charts, get familiar, and then that'll be it. Right, I started by saying I realized that it was not coming to you all, so over this weekend I'm going to update that part of it, and over this weekend you all will get the recording for all the sessions. I will send over the link for all 4 again, and then after that you will start to get it. You'll start to get it. So by this weekend you would have the link for all 4 classes that we did so far, the 3 from before and this one for today, and we'll go from there. Alright, that's it for tonight's session, guys. So have a good night. I would see you all next Thursday. As I said, over the weekend, look out for the link, and that will be it. Have a good night.